everyone, welcome back to new series of Python. In today's video, we will be discussing about loops in Python. So first, we are just going to discuss about the for loop in Python. The for loop in Python are a special types of loop statements that is used for sequential traversal. So traversal is nothing but the visiting of the elements at least once. So for loop is used for iterating over an iterable like string, tuple, list, sets, or dictionary. Now here you can find the syntax. So here you will be providing the for loop that is for variable in iterable. For example, we can say that for is an inbuilt function in Python and we will be using a variable. So this variable will be considering as the variable that is used for iteration. And here we will be in the iterable thing, we will be setting the, the string or tuple or list or dictionary. So from this, we will be traversing each of the element by using the variable. And to get the result, we will be using the print statement over there. So in Python, for loops only implement the collections-based iteration. Okay. So first, we will be discussing about Python for loop with strings. And this code uses a for loop to iterate over a string and print each character in a new line. The loop assigns each character to the variable I and continues until the character in the strings have been processed. So first, we can just consider a string over here. I'm going to give the string, going to assign this string into a particular variable. So let's say that the name of the variable is course and it has got a string that is Python tutorial. Now, I just need to traverse with each of the character in this string. Okay, so I'll be using the for loop. So for is the loop that we are just going to use, as we are just going to use a variable. Here, you can see that is the variable as I. So into the variable I, we will be assigning each of the character and we will be traversing. And we just need to traverse into the string course. Okay, so that is the iterable thing over here. So you can just provide the course over here. And in order to complete this syntax, we have to give the colon over here. Now, we can just use the print function. So I'll be using the print function over here. And we just need to get the result. Okay, so as I just try to print I, here you can see that currently we will be traversing with each of the characters in our string. So in order to get the result, you can just run the file and here we go that we have just got the result. See, we have traversed with each of the characters in the given string. Now let's see how Python for loops works with range. The range function in Python generates a sequence of numbers starting from the specified start value and that will be inclusive, and we will use an inting value and that will be exclusive, that is a stop value, and optionally stepping by a given interval, and it's commonly used to iterate over a specific number of times with a for loop. And here comes the syntax that is for loop in range, start, stop, and step. So the start value will be inclusive, stop value will be exclusive, and we will be using steps optionally. And you can also use a code to be executed in each iteration. So here you can see that the variable that is a variable is a temporary variable that takes on each values from a generated sequence in each iteration. And here you can see that the start value. So by default, we will be using the start value as 0. And here you can see the ending value that is that will be exclusive. So if you just set the stop value as 10, till 9 only we will be considering the values. Okay. And we can also set a step. So by default, the step will be 1 and that is the interval between the values. Now let's define this with an example. Let's say we just need to iterate from 0 to 4. Okay, that is the value that to be included. So I'll be using the for loop. For I is a variable that is a temporary variable in which we just assign our values. So I in range 5. So I have directly given the value over here. So the stop value is 5, and we know the starting value by default is 0. So even if you don't provide 0 over here, by default we can say that the start value is 0. Okay. Or you can also provide like this 0, 5. Okay. Now we can provide the code to that execute in each iteration. So we will be using the print function, and we know in the variable I we will be storing our values, or we will be assigning the values. So we can just basically provide the variable I over here, or if you want to change the variable, you can just change that and set it over here. Okay, it's not mandatory to use I itself, but that is a standard way of using a variable name for the for loop. Okay, and you can just run the file, and here you will be getting the result over here. So you can see that 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that are the values that are included. And as we just the value as 5 as stop value, we know 5 will be excluded, and till 4 it will be printing. Now even if you just set likewise, you will be getting the same result. See, you can see the iteration starts from 0 and ends at 4. Now let's go with the other example, that I just need to make an iteration from 2 to 9, and these are the inclusive values, okay, by stepping by 2. So we can basically use the for loop with the range function. So here you can say that for num in range, and we just need to set the range over here. So basically we will be using the round bracket, and we know we just need to start the iteration from 2. So the start value will be obviously 2, right? And I just need to include values till 9. So we know as we just set the stop value as 10, the value 10 will be excluded, and till 9 we will be considering the values. Okay, so I'll be setting the stop value as 10 over here, and we have to do a stepping with 2. So now we just need to get the result over here. To get the result, we will be using the print function, and we know num is the temporary variable where we will be storing our values. So you can just provide the object name over here. So the result will be like this will be starts from, the value or the iteration will be starting from 2, and it ends till 9, and we just need to make a stepping of 2. So only the even numbers will be taking over here. As you just run the file, here you can find the result. So let me just give an identification over here, num, and again let me run that, and here you can see as we just provide the range as 2, 10, 2, that is the start value, stop value, and step value. Here you can see that the iteration just starts from 2, and now we would like to go with the stepping. So as we just use the stepping as 2 and the stop value as 10, here you can see we have just stepped with 2, and only we have just considered the even numbers. Now let me just change this into the stepping as 1. So if I just change the stepping as 1, you can see 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 will be the answer or the out that we are just going to get. So here you can see we have just got the result. Now let's change this as 3. So in this case, you can see that the range or the iteration starts from 2. Then we will be doing step with 3. So the next result will be 5. Then we will be getting the result as 8. Likewise, it will be going. So here you can see we just got the result like 2, 5, 8. Now, if you want to just manage with the stepping as 4, the result will be 2 will be the starting iteration, and 6 will be the other one. And by 6, actually the iteration will be closed because we don't have further number to make the iteration. So you can just basically run this, and here you just got the result. So this is how we just use the range functions. Okay. And it is basically used for making the iterations with numbers. Now let's discuss another example, that iterating backward from 5 to 0. So let's see how can we just do that. So in this case, we know that the value 0 will be excluded, but the iteration just starts from 5. So we just need to do a backward iteration. So I'll be using the same for loop with the range function. So for um, I in range, and we just need to start from 5. So the starting value must be 5, and we just need to exclude the value 0. So you will be providing the value over there. So we will be getting the result till 1. As we want to just perform a backward iteration, you can basically use -1 over here. Okay. And now we just would like to go with the result. We will be using the print function. So here you can find the result now that we will be getting the result as 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So here we go. And let's run the file. And here you can see the result over here as 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 over here. So it's very easy to use the range function with the for loop in Python. Now let's discuss about the enumerate function in for loop. So the enumerate function in Python is a built-in generator that returns a pair of integers and values from the iteratable object. The iteratable object can be a list, tuple, or a string, and it is commonly used when you need to iterate over an iterable and access both the elements and their corresponding integers simultaneously. Now here we just go with the syntax, that is for index, then we will be providing the value in enumerate iteratable. So afterwards we can just use the code to be executed in each iteration. So index is the current value of the index in the iteratable, and the value is the value in the the value of the current element in the iterable, as well as the iterable is the iterable object that you want to enumerate. Now let's define this with an example. Let's say that we have a list of fruits. So I'll be using a list over here that's named as fruits, and it has got different values. So let's say that it has got the values as apple, then orange, and the other value is mango. Now we will be using the enumerate function along with the for loop to get the value as well as the index simultaneously. Okay, so we have first defined the list, and the next step is to use the for loop. So we will be using the for loop, and we just need to get the index. So we will be using the variable over here in order to get the index. So I'll be setting it as index, or you can just use any other alternative over here. You can either use count or any other variable. So I'll be using index over here and put a comma. And now we just need to store the values or the elements of the list. Right. So we will be using fruit over here as the variable. So we just need to get each of the fruit from this fruit list. Okay, so I'll be using the variable as fruit, and fruit in enumerate as a function. So you can basically search for enumerate over here, and that is a constructor, or we can say that that is a built-in function which is used in Python. And we just need to search or make the traversal from the list fruits. So inside the enumerate function, we will be passing the parameter that as fruits over here. And now we just need to get the result, right? So as we want to find the result, that is the index as well as the fruit, we will be providing both variable inside the print function. So index, and let's separate that with the comma, and use the variable that is fruit, as we just want to get each of the fruits from the list fruits. Okay, so here you can find the iteration will be 10 over there. So here you can see that we have done a small mistake. Instead of giving the colon, we have provided the semicolon. So we can just change that, and you can see currently the error is just vanished, and yeah, Now to get the result, you can just run the file, okay? And here you can see that in the index of 0, we have just got the value as apple, and in the index of 1, we have just got the result as orange, or the value as orange, and in the index of 2, we have just got the value as mango. So there are many more things that we just need to discuss with the for loop, such as the nested for loop and many more other things. So all those things will be discussed through another video. So for the time being, we will be only discussing the enumerate function as well as the range function and how to use the for loop in Python. And that's all for today. Thank you for watching the video.